They could represent themselves as whoever they want. I mean, it's just, the list goes on. Anywhere where a human can communicate with another human, the child is not safe. There's marketplaces, there's horrible things on there, like you said, for kids, and even like for hire, there's counterfeit money, there's fake IDs, there are all kinds of different websites that do horrible things.
Hacking is essentially manipulating something to perform actions it wasn't originally intended to do. This can apply to anything, not just computers.
So it's manipulating something to do something. It's manipulating something to do something it wasn't intended to do. That's basically the definition of hacking. That could be with anything. It doesn't have to be a computer. I think it's a mindset that you either have or you don't have. As for the technical specifics, they can be applied later, but I think the mindset really helps.
At just 12 or 13 years old, he joined a hacking group called Digital Gangster, which went on to hack numerous celebrities and major companies.
That turned into, to me, later on in life, I would say maybe 12, 13 years old, joining a hacking group or affiliate marketer / hacking group called Digital Gangster. And if you do some research into Digital Gangster, you'll see there's a lot of celebrities and companies that were hacked by the forum and the members on it. One of them being YT Cracker, or Bryce Case is his name. He hacked NASA and many other government agencies.
The dark web isn't just a marketplace like many assume. After accessing it, you still need to know the specific sites to visit in order to find the illegal and disturbing content.
Let's talk about the dark web. So I hear a lot about the dark web. Well,
yeah, it's a buzzword.
On it, you can find child on it. It sounds like it's just the black market, the new black market, correct?
Yeah.
So I've heard about it. I know about it. I know it's all stuff you shouldn't be doing. But how do you get on it? Where is it?
Okay, so the dark web itself isn't a marketplace like what you're thinking. All right, so the black market, or whatever you want to call it, once you're connected to the dark web, Tor, the onion router, what I was explaining before, you still need to know where to go to visit these horrible websites.
This ethical hacker used the dark web as a tool for investigating pedophilia cases, tracking predators through its hidden corners.
So can I check my email through the dark web?
Yes, you can go to any website.
Would you recommend using the dark web to just do regular
It's slow as hell,
internet stuff?
It's very slow, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could, and it would keep you safer, but it's not a foolproof way to keep yourself safe, and it's painstakingly slow.
Okay. Do you use the dark web?
For investigations, yeah.
What kind of investigations?
For like the predator and cases, yeah.
So are you able to track these guys down from the dark web, even though they're technically anonymous?
A lot of times it doesn't need to go that far. A lot of times these guys will use their regular emails, or they'll use an IP address that's been, they'll reuse for multiple emails, or their face that they're using as their profile picture. I can, find them from the same way I just found your face, or they're using a phone number that traces right back to them. The dark web, it's not really a huge part of catching predators. And one thing, I guess the only thing on the dark web, quote unquote, I hate that word, but the dark web, quote unquote, that I had access to was when I originally hacked the website that we're going to talk about. They branched out to have not only a website on the ClearNet, on the regular internet, but their website was mirrored on the dark web. And I had 3 backdoors in their system, and it branched out over to the dark web. So I had a backdoor on the dark web too, which was kind of a cool thing to have. So I needed to be connected to Tor, the onion router, to connect to my backdoor. But that was, I was only using that backdoor to exfiltrate data every single day, which was just user information, because I didn't want to get their posts or anything. I didn't want to be in possession of anything horrible that they were sending each other.
He's confident that if he simply opened his laptop and typed in one of your personal email addresses, he could easily find at least one of your passwords.
I'm so sure that if I pulled my laptop out and I put in one of your personal emails, that I will have at least one of your passwords. and that password could be reused for Shopify, or maybe it's used to access that list of data with your customers that you were saying you have the client list, the newsletters, the applicants for the jobs. Maybe it's the same password you use for that. And now I have access to that data that I could either ransom you with, I could escalate my permissions on Shopify with, and take over your entire site. Maybe it's the credentials to your social media platform, like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're on. Those credentials could be reused. So it is important, like as you said, using a password manager, because all it takes is someone like me or with a bad moral compass to take advantage of everything that you have.
Where this is happening, that everyday people use all the time.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Kik, WhatsApp, Roblox, Minecraft, Xbox, PlayStation.
Xbox and PlayStation?
Yeah, because you can chat with random people in games. They could represent themselves as whoever they want. Yeah, I mean, it's just, the list goes on. Anywhere where a human can communicate with another human, the child is not safe. So parents need to be watching that. And they're like, imagine a very long string of letters and numbers, and the website, instead of .com, it'd be .onion. You can't visit those websites in a regular browser. You have to do that while you're connected to the Onion router, which you could download at the TOR's website. And then you could go to a thing called like the Hidden Wiki, and the Hidden Wiki will show you all different categories of these websites with a link to them.
On the dark web, there are marketplaces for unspeakable things, ranging from child exploitation to murder for hire, fake IDs, and counterfeit money.
And there's marketplaces, there's horrible things on there, like you said, for kids, and even like for hire, there's counterfeit money, there's fake IDs. There are all kinds of different websites that do horrible things.
What is the Onion router?
So the Onion router is a tool, an open source project that was created to anonymize your traffic on the internet. And it decentralizes, I believe decentralized would be the word for it, your internet traffic. It keeps you anonymous beyond a VPN. I would still recommend that you use a virtual private network on top of Tor if you want to be anonymous, but it's just a layer of security that's free, and it keeps it's like, for example, let's say you use Comcast for your internet service provider. They could see that you're using Tor, but they can't see what you're looking at. If you use a VPN and then you use Tor, they can only tell you're using a VPN, but they can't tell you're using Tor. So it's just an internet within an internet.
What is Pentester?
Pentester is a software solution for cybersecurity and protection. So there's a pen test, a manual pen test, where somebody would go into your company or a group of people, where they would check down a list of boxes of things for your compliance, look for vulnerabilities based upon your platform, and give you a report of findings, vulnerabilities. Pentester.com, it can get confusing because pen testing and pentester.com are like, pen testing is a term, pentester.com is the name of my company.
Okay.
What we do is we try to automate as much of what a pen tester would do digitally. So pentester.com is an automated web scanning framework. As of right now, we're building it out to be more of a more than just a web scanner. And sorry, I'm getting mixed up.
No, it's fine. So let me just ask this then. So
it's hard to explain, so I'm trying to make everybody understand.
I get it, because I'm a dummy with this stuff.
Not you, not.
If we conducted a penetration test, pen test, on your system, it would reveal a host of vulnerabilities, often exposing weaknesses you didn't even know existed.
So let me ask you a question then. So if I go to pentester.com and I type in SeanRyanShow.com, what kind of vulnerabilities might I have? Here's my website. I sell gummy bears on it, and we post upcoming episodes. Your episode's going to be on there. We collect email addresses for a database to We send out a free newsletter all the time.
Right.
And then we got like some, if you want to apply for a job here, every once in a while we'll post that. They can run their resumes. We just did a thing where we're looking for a new video editor for shorts, and they're sending in a bunch of, we're having a competition for it. But for a website like, and we have advertising inquiries. For a website like that, it's run off Shopify. What kind of vulnerabilities would I be looking at?
So there's many things. The first thing that came to mind was email breaches. So if you have like contact@SeanRyan.com, is that your website, SeanRyan.com?
SeanRyanShow.com.
SeanRyanShow.com. So contact@SeanRyanShow.com, or Sean Ryan at the website, or anyone that works here. I can look up that domain with Pentester and see if it's been involved in any breaches, or if it's been involved in any botnet traffic where it's scraped all of the cookies and passwords from people's browsers.
Okay, hold on. What is botnet? What? Tracking?
Traffic.
Botnet traffic.
Right. So let's say you were infected with some type of malware, and that person grabs from your Chrome or your Safari all of the saved passwords and all of the sessions. Like a website, to be signed into a website, you have to have a session. So if I took that session and replaced mine with yours, now I'm mute without a password.
Some of the most horrifying content and data breaches from the dark web occasionally leak onto the public-facing web, and many people are completely unaware that it's out there.
So some of that stuff gets released on the dark web, or it's Tor. I like to call it Tor, Tor, the onion router. That's what the dark web is. But it gets released there, and sometimes on the publicly facing web. And a lot of people aren't aware of what information is actually out there. So when you put your website into Pentester, you get a preliminary report that shows all of that data that has been exposed related to your domain name. Well, it goes a little further than that, because let's say it doesn't find anything. Maybe you're a brand new website, and Shopify is doing a good job with all of the plugins you're using. Because remember, each one of those plugins is by an individual creator that could have messed up at any point in their code. So you're only as strong as your strongest plugin. So that's one thing there. Shopify has their own security, and then you have your own security based on your plugins. As for the emails, let's say I get nothing with the SeanRyanShow.com. Now I'm going to start looking into the Gmail accounts of Gmail, Hotmail, AOL, Yahoo, whatever, of all of your employees, your family, and then I'm going to see breaches associated with them, which I guarantee you that there is. Like, for example, if you were in 2019 LinkedIn breach or Dropbox, if you use any of that, like Vigilante
VigilanceElite.com.
I keep saying Vigilante, I'm sorry. Vigilance Elite. I do have this password. And I do have the address.
Whose address?
I have an apartment in.
Interesting.
I have an IP address for. I have an address in where we're at right now, with the zip code ending in 64, and a phone number ending in.
All that on there?
Yeah. And I have a lot more than that if you want to take a look yourself.
Oh, yeah. Let me take a look.
Yeah. I'm halfway through it, but you can scroll up and down.
How do we clean this up?
You can't. You just got to change. You got to change the information if you don't want it there. There is no way to get rid of it.
Okay, so what? Oh, my gosh.
Small and medium-sized businesses often underestimate the risks they face, but they're actually more vulnerable to cyber attacks than they think.
So that's why small and medium-sized businesses that don't realize that they're a target, they're more of a target than they think. They get attacked because they either have exposed credentials out there, or they're using old technology, and they just get grouped in with a ton of other people that are, similar targets. A lot of them don't realize they need to take their cybersecurity more seriously. And Pentester, this is kind of like a shameless plug, but for $50 a month, it's worth the money. We are the cheapest, to my knowledge, in the cybersecurity world, and we're not only giving you a software solution, but we're giving you a hands-on, manual confirmation for anything that we're not sure of. So to become a hacker outside of the child safety thing was actually a pretty basic story, but I remember it like it was yesterday. So I was probably around 9 years old when I first got access to a computer. My grandfather worked for a cemetery, and I guess they gave him a desktop computer. It was a monster of a machine. It was just in size, not in speed by any means. But I didn't know what it was. I was very young. And if you remember, some of the people watching will remember AOL used to send these floppy drives in the mail, the floppy disks in the mail that would have trials for AOL dial-up internet. And I saw that the floppy drive had a specific shape to it, as well as the desktop computer where you put the floppy in had a little icon there that looked like that disk. And I took it out of the free trial case and I put it in there because it looked like it was supposed to go there. And I saw the AOL logo come from a piece of cardboard onto a screen. And I remember that like it just happened yesterday, and it blew my mind. It was like a miracle that I couldn't understand how something in the real world could show up on a screen and I had control over it.
You're 9 years old. How old are you right now?
31.
So 22 years ago.
Yeah, approximately. Yeah, I mean, give or take a year.
Okay.
But that doesn't make you a hacker, but that got my interest peaked in computers, and very young age I was helping people fix their computers, learning about computers, and from there that turned into how does this work and how do I make it do something it wasn't intended to do in the first place.
There's a much deeper story behind how he rose within the hacking community at such a young age and honed the methodologies he uses today.
There's a lot more to the story of how I came up in the hacking community and how I learned the methodologies, learned how to find vulnerabilities in things, which I can go into that if you'd like.
Sure, absolutely.
So yeah, I can. I would be here 6 hours explaining all of it, but if anyone remembers AOL Instant Messenger, it was called AIM. There was also something called IRC, which is an internet relay chat, which is ancient, but that's how people communicated back then online. And I was part of a lot of groups where there were a lot of hackers. All I knew them by were screen names. Mm-hmm. I didn't have their real names for the most part. Most of them would just go by an alias, and so would I. They didn't realize I was a little boy, and I don't know if they were little boys as well or they were grown men. I have no idea. But I guess the curiosity in me, and me being one of the kids that always just say why to everything over and over and over, everything was why. I was blessed to have a group of people that were willing to mentor me and teach me the things that were so interesting. So when I saw something get hacked or I seen a vulnerability in, let's just say, AOL Instant Messenger, I would have a group of people that would be more than happy to teach me how they did that, and then I would recreate it myself, and I'd get that same adrenaline rush, which is like addictive to say the least, which then went on to more things. I mean, if you want to get into that, I will.
He eventually became the administrator of the Digital Gangster website, which was a hub for hackers and marketers, essentially a chaotic blend of both. Back then, it felt like the Wild West of the internet.
I became an administrator of the website Digital Gangster, which was full of hackers and marketers, kind of a combination of both. So back then it was like the Wild West. You could send, let's say acai weight loss berries. They were paying, $9 per sale. They would give you a unique URL. You would send that URL out to, let's just say, 1 million people, because there wasn't a junk mailbox, there wasn't spam filters, and then you would just start randomly mailing hundreds of thousands or 1 million people and collect your commissions from these affiliate networks. So we would combine hacking methodology and affiliate marketing, and that was kind of the short version of what Digital Gangster was.
What's the most money you ever made on one of these affiliate marketing email campaigns?
Without going into the specific details of what and how, I would say 30,000 in a day.
At 12 or 13 years old?
Probably 13, yeah.
So when it's happening at 13 years old, what money is that? What account is that money going into?
So I had a PayPal account that got banned, and then my mom's.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what's mom saying the first time you see 30,000 in them? Is she like, honey, let's do it again? Or is she like, what are you doing? What are you up to?
So my mom has always been like a friend to me, but she's still my mother at the end of the day.
Of course.
I love my mom. And my mom has questioned everything I've ever done, but always has my back. You know, she'll ask me a million questions, but she'll be very supportive. She knows that I have a good heart. She knows I would never, try to hurt anybody in any type of way. So I don't think that I can't remember the conversation verbatim of how that all went, but yeah, it's she was fully aware of the marketing.
Now the people that hired you at Digital Gangster, do they know how old you are, or they don't know yet? Because at the time when they're hiring, you're not necessarily putting your age.
So Digital Gangster, you didn't have to be hired. It was a forum that anybody could join. And then you could be, like I said, you could use an alias, you could use your real name, you could use whatever you wanted. I joined there as under an alias, and then earned my way up the ranks without anyone actually knowing who I was.